Hello, this is Nobody No One, and today we're going to talk about a theory that I have had for a while. And with the show ending, Young Shelton, I believe this is a good time not to mess up anybody's thoughts on my theory. I call this the theory of want, and it's pretty long, so I think I'm going to do like part one, part two. But I'm calling this man, the man from the Big Bang Theory, an imposter. And I believe that he did murder the real Shelton, which is the young Shelton. Now, I love these two shows, guys. I've watched them countless of times. I watch them on TikTok and everything. So when this theory came about and I started watching the shows and comparing the shows, it came to me that it looks like this Shelton here is an imposter. So let's first start off how this is possible. Okay. First of all started when his father had the heart attack. Young Shelton was very, very devastated. Okay. And we see him separating from the family. We see him separating from himself. We see him now starting to have quirks. Okay. But a lot of people say, well, that's just part of of his attitude. But let's first look at the whole story, okay? Young Shelton started separating from his father, okay? I mean, from his family. And there was a big reason why. He couldn't handle this, okay? Now, at this time, okay, he was in the university, and all the universities wanted him. He was financially stable, okay, but he had lost someone who was very important, so he was separating from everybody he knew. Now, he wasn't doing this because he wanted to. He was doing this because he did not know how to deal with it, and he didn't want to deal with the pain. So when he started separating, it made him a target, a very, very easy target for anyone who wanted to take advantage of somebody. And how do we know this? His mother. Okay? Let's first remember that before his father died, okay, she didn't want Shelton to leave. It was her baby. She always took care of him. All right? But when her husband was gone and passed away, she was a complete mess. And according to his brother, young Sheldon's brother, okay, they were devastated. So much that she couldn't get out of bed. She was there. He had to be there for the family. He had to make sure things went right. And look at her. Seriously, look at her. She's a glowing image. Yes, she was religious at this time, but she's bright. She had long hair. She took care of herself. But let's look at what happened. Look at the sadness in her eyes all the time. She was very thin. Her hair is cut, very plain. She's not really close with anyone. We never hear about her and her friends. If you look at her now and see the devastation she must have gone through to fall into this situation, you know that she would not have want to believe that her son was dead also. And it would have been very easy for her to accept. And even if she had questions, she would have probably accepted because she could not handle the pain. And we see it in her religious, pushing it on everybody, making sure that everybody believes in God. Now we get the funny stuff, but just think about it. She pushes this on everyone. But how is it that she got into his heart? The imposter Shelton could have not done this. He knew this. So he was looking for someone that could do it for him. And that was Sheldon. Leonard. I'm sorry. If you see in the apartment, everything's empty. He knows he can't handle. He knows he can't handle this ruse. So he hires a roommate. But he's not just looking for any roommate. He's looking for that pawn, that person that he can take advantage of. And that was Leonard. Leonard was an extremely smart man. He there's no doubt about it. But he had a naive, childish way of being. And let's not forget, okay, that if he was doing this ruse, if I'm right and this is an imposter, this would have been the perfect man to use. Why? Because he could have used them without him even knowing. He was the man who would help without knowing. And how do we know this? It's because he actually has a close relationship with the family. Leonard says that he doesn't know the family, yet he had a phone number for his mother. If you remember with Shelton and Penny, the fight, he says it himself that he's a mastermind. It's just a matter of time before he snaps and he can hurt the world. Okay? So he has a fear from him. And Sheldon, the imposter, knows that. Secondly, the family listens to him. How many times has he talked to his mother about Shelton and she listens to him? Now, it is true that the mom is sometimes strong and sometimes she comes down on Shelton. But if you pay attention, he knows how to get to people's hearts. He's a nice guy. Unfortunately, he's also very, very naive. But he understands people. And this is what makes him the perfect pawn. When you look at this guy, you can't help but know how much he helped Shelton. But here's the thing about it. Some people might say, okay, then he's in it too. And it could be. But if you look at the shows, you understand his naiveness. His naive way so much that you just know that's not possible. And you see it a lot with Penny. Excuse me. So, what can we do? Well, to understand this more, let's look at the theory for what it really, really is. Okay? The theory is that this man came in at a perfect timing. He in my theory, he had a roommate, which was young Shelton. He learns about his life. He decides that he likes this life and decides that he wants to take over. And maybe it was just an act of desperation, but he wanted this life. And unfortunately, he kills young Shelton and starts taking over his life. So this is Nobody, No One. This is part 1. Part 2 is coming in as fast as I can get this down. And I hope you enjoy this and start investigating it. This is Nobody No One. Thank you.